We have a real life before and after here, okay? It is the Gibson Sisters, and they are here to talk about breast augmentation, okay? So we have Natalie, who's had her surgery here a year ago, and then we have her sister, Courtney, who's about to get this breast augmentation surgery. So let's dive in, you guys. Talk to us about, we know why you came here to do this and everything. Tell us the impact it's had on your body and your confidence and your life, and then how do you feel about your baby sister going through with this?
So for me, I think a big thing was that I was so insecure about like putting on bikinis. That was like a big thing for me because I was always wearing padded bras and doing everything to make it look like I had, bigger breasts. And so actually getting it done completely changed my life in the fact that it's not something I have to stress about all the time. It's not something that I think about all the time. And like just clothes fit so much better. Everything is just so easy. So I love it. And for me, actually, I was the one because I knew Courtney wanted to do it, but it was more of like an in theory type situation. She's like, yeah, I want to get it done. But and I was like, Court, you should actually do it. And you should do it with my doctor because he's so good. He makes the process so easy. And I think when I actually suggested it to her is when she was like, yeah, I'm for sure going to do it. I've been talking about this for so long. I'm actually going to do it. And for me, I waited so much longer than I really needed to. And I wish I would have done it sooner because of how much more confident it made me.
Right.
Yeah.
It's kind of it's such a weird thing, and you're not alone. I have a lot of my patients, they say that the confidence boost is almost sometimes overnight, even though they're like beat up from surgery and bruises and still swollen. It's just like something clicks, and it's so weird how it just fitting into going to a fitting room. They come back. My patients come back in 6 weeks, and they're like, I'm so happy I finally fit into clothes, and my life is just so much easier. And they always say exactly what you said. Two things: I should have done it sooner, and it was easier than I thought. I mean, there's a reason why it's the number one plastic surgery procedure in the United States. Natalie, what were some of your hesitancies like when you were first, if you could think back to a year ago? I know it seems like forever ago, but like what were some of your hesitations?
I think a big thing for me is I've seen a lot of people get breast augmentations and a lot of them are not very good. So I've seen like a lot of that type of work. So for me, I was really, really nervous and I took so much time to pick out the surgeon. I'm so grateful I went with you.
Thank you.
But that was something that I was really nervous about is, paying all this money and then not liking the result. So that was my biggest, and that was the thing I was most worried about. I wasn't too concerned about like it being super painful or anything.
Yeah. What was and so we met and you did your research. You stalked me beforehand, which is good. And then when it came to sizing, and I remember this, you did so much research and you had so many photos about exactly what you wanted, and I thought that was really important. How did you feel about your size like right out after surgery, and then how do you feel about it now, like a year after your surgery?
Okay, so yeah, when we had the consultation, we actually talked about going like much smaller than we ended up going with. And you went in there and I told you, I was like, hey, you do this all the time. You're the best at it. Whatever you think, you do. Yeah. I had a lot of photos of like what I would like it to look like, but I know you understand it way more than I do. So when I came out, it ended up being a lot more than I thought it was. Right. And the first time I looked at them, I was...
Can we talk about your size?
Yes.
Okay, so we did 370. So when we first did her measurements, we thought we were probably going to be 300, 325 range, and based on our photos. And then we went to surgery, we did on-table sizing, and we're like, you know what? 375 just looks better. And that's one of the key things I talk about for all my breast augmentations is like trying on shoes. It's like sometimes you think you're size 7, but you go and you try it out. It's like, no, it's like this. So that's why I do that on-table sizing. Not every surgeon does that, but you should do that. That's what happened. And then when you woke up, how did you feel?
Oh my gosh. I know I had bruises all over. I actually kept one of the bruises for like a little while, but
I know I saw it in your post. You were like, so like I love seeing that confidence. Cause like I saw on your social media, you're just like, I'm just going to rock the bruise. It's all good. Right.
Yeah, exactly. And so for me, literally the second I saw them, I was so happy. I knew I was going to love it. And they were a little high in the beginning cause it just took a little while for them to drop down. But now that they look, I get compliments on them all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
Well, I mean, it shows. Like I feel like you shared your experience and your followers and everything. And that's another thing I want to talk about is you guys are pretty open about this. A lot of people are not, and especially celebrities. I mean, you guys are kind of celebrities in a way with your social media following. How do you kind of position it in terms of the social media realm and your followers and so forth?
So for me, that was a really big deal because I didn't want to lie to people. And I
Yeah.
also think it's really important to understand that I don't look like this naturally. This
Right.
is something that I went in and I paid to get fixed because I didn't like it about myself.
Mhm.
And I don't want people to be seeing that on social media and think like, wow, I wish I could be more like this girl, and not know that I paid to get it fixed. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was really important to me.
I don't think you needed to fix anything, but
Yeah.
you wanted larger breasts,
Yeah.
and it's and there's a nice and easy way to do that,
Yeah.
and you achieved it, and that's
Yeah.
okay. Life is short, you know.
Yeah.
It's like if you want to go around and like bang your head against the wall that you don't fit into clothing and bras, you can do that for the rest of your life, or you can do something about it with the procedure that's very well known in the right hands with the right surgeon. Turns out really good. So Courtney, you have a younger following perhaps on TikTok, and have you thought about this, about sharing this and talking about it?
Along the lines of what Natalie said is for me, I know, like, especially since I'm going from nothing to like,
I wouldn't say nothing. Okay,
Sorry,
we just did a
nothing.
consultation, you guys, and everything was great. And nobody needs breast augmentation surgery.
Correct.
You don't, but I see what you're talking about.
Yes. Like it's just always been a really big insecurity of mine. And like you said, like I am constantly thinking about when I go out in a bathing suit and how I feel. And for me, I just think with my followers, I want to be open and I want to create a community where it's all open to making yourself feel loved. And no matter how you do it, I just want to make sure that it's just all happy and good.
I mean, is transparent. I mean, transparent.
Yes.
Obviously, transparency is very important to you. I mean, it's just like, you know, I have a lot of followers, and I try to be very transparent, and that's why I have a hard time with celebrities. You know, some, not all of them, but like some that just get work done and they're not transparent about it. I think it misleads people, and I think there's some people that I just suck because I don't look like this, and I can never look like this because I don't look like this naturally. Well, here's the truth, folks. Most people don't look like this naturally. So, you know, previously, before your generation, plastic surgery was very taboo. Now it's kind of getting more incorporated. The Kardashians have really helped with that. Where do you think it's going? Where do you think social media is going with cosmetic procedures or injectables or beauty enhancements? Where do you think it's going in the future?
Honestly, I like, for example, like you said, with even breast augmentations, it's a lot more common, and I feel like it's becoming more and more popular, and I think more and more people are going to do it. And I know, like being in LA, I know a lot of people have injections, and I feel like you're seeing it more often.
Yeah.
So I think it's definitely going to grow and become even more popular than it already is.
Natalie, what do you think?
Yeah, I completely agree with that. It's actually funny because when we're out in LA, I'd say there are not many people who don't have their lips done. Almost everybody has their lips done. And I think it is just going to keep getting more and more popular because people do see like, oh, I just got this done and I feel so confident, and they're going to want to keep doing it. And the more people that do it and see it, other people are going to do it too.
Yeah. It's fantastic. All right. So I think we have just a minute or two left before we go into Q&A. Is there anything you want to tell someone out there who's thinking about maybe getting breast augmentation or maybe thinking about getting a cosmetic procedure and not quite sure what to do?
I saw this quote one time actually, and it was like, if there's something on you that you look at every day and it makes you sad and uncomfortable, why wouldn't you enhance yourself in that way? And for me, that's so true. And it really did it completely changed my life. My own opinion of myself, like it's crazy how much it really did boost my confidence.
Did your followers go up?
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Really?
Yeah. I've gained like probably 200,000.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay.
And booking jobs. Like I book way more jobs.
Okay.
Too.
So tell us about that. I forgot that you actually do a lot of modeling as well. Okay.
Yeah. So I've been booking so many more jobs since I got my breast augmentation because I do a lot of bikini modeling.
Yes.
So for me, that was huge. So I've made so much money off of it too, which is crazy.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a good return on investment there.
Totally.
Okay. Wonderful. And for you, what would you say to I mean, someone who's thinking about getting this done? You kind of have the insider scoop, you know, through Natalie, but
No. So for me, it's funny because like a big reason why I'm like making the final decision to go through and do this is because Natalie has been like such a help, because it's scary to think about doing something on your own, or like you don't know where to go or how to do it. And like for me, this is so like Natalie was such a great help in this aspect because she made it so that I wouldn't be scared. She made it so that she gave me such a good doctor, you know, like, because I feel like she said, a lot of people you see and they don't have the best plastic surgery done, however it may be. So this was just awesome because she helped me so much.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Incredible. You're going to do great.
Yeah,
You're gonna
I'm
have
so excited.
I know. It's going to be amazing. And then we'll have you both back on the podcast. too.
Yay.
All right. So we're going to dive into some questions, some Q&A. How did you get into social media? I'll start. I guess we could all kind of answer this. I got into social media because I was all about transparency for plastic surgery. I feel like I want people to know exactly what these procedures are all about, and so they can decide if that's what they want to do. So I show everything from the surgeries and so forth. So how about you guys?
So I actually got into it because I was dating a guy at the time. I just saw what a fun job it was. I mean, he got to post everywhere and he didn't have to work a 9 to 5 and he was still making great money. So that's really when I decided I wanted to do it, and I just started posting every day. And for me, it was so much fun to see the community grow. And now
That was through Instagram primarily?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it started with Instagram primarily, and then now obviously we do TikTok, and we have our sister account that's doing so well now.
Yeah.
So it's really
Oh, the three of you.
Yeah.
Okay, like tell us where to find it.
okay.
Yes.
So it's called the Gibson Girls.
The Gibson Girls.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah. So that's our.
It's like the Gilmore Girls, right?
It is. It's
okay,
kind of cute.
all right, cool.
Yeah, I heard a rumor that apparently it was supposed to be the Gibson Girls, and then last minute they changed it to the Gilmore Girls. I
Oh,
was
interesting.
like,
Okay.
yeah. Anyways, so.
And then for me, I was actually the opposite. Natalie got into Instagram a couple years before me, or social media a couple years before me, and then I came in through TikTok actually.
Yeah.
I didn't do it professionally. I just kind of was posting funny videos or just playing around with it, and then I saw how quickly my page grew, and from there I decided I could actually do this as an actual profession.
Yeah.
And I can make money through it, and like Natalie said, it's a great way because it's not a 9 to 5.
Well, let's talk about that. How much time do you actually put into it? Because a 9 to 5 is kind of cool in a way because you get to go to work at 9 o'clock and then you get to leave at 5 o'clock, if that exists anymore, which I think it still does for some people if you want to work at the post office or wherever else. But that's not true for social media, right?
No.
Okay, because like you got to work on the weekends, you got to work like early morning, you got to tell
Yeah.
people about your day, and then sometimes you have to maybe do things when you're not really comfortable to kind of do stuff.
Yeah, that's actually really funny because in this circle, we do have to go out and we have to network all the time. And
Yeah.
sometimes my social meter, I guess you could say, is
Yeah.
low, you know? So
Yeah.
you always have
Are you
to
an
come
introvert?
Yes,
Okay,
actually.
I can tell you're an introvert.
Yeah.
It's just like it kind of takes a lot of energy to go out and kind of network with people.
100%. And
Yeah.
you always have to put on this like very outgoing personality. Like for what you said, I am an introvert, so
Yeah.
it takes a lot out of me. But it's also cool because some days if like, let's say I'm sick,
Yeah.
I don't have to put in like the work that day, and I can
Right.
take the time that I need, and like recovery wise. So that's where it is really great.
Yeah.
I would say, yeah, it's insane how much time and energy we actually put in, especially the Gibson Girl account.
Yeah.
We spend hours and hours and hours and hours, like learning the dances, putting the outfits together, driving down, filming with our videographers, getting it back, like talking about things that we want to change on
Yeah.
it. It takes so much time
Right.
to make a 15-second video.
Can you do the jerk video, like the dance? The
Yes.
jerk? Okay, so they surprised me the other day. They're like, "Can you do the jerk?" And I'm like, "All right." And they just started filming. I'm like, "You got to give me some time." And so I think it's fun because it's yes, it's a lot of work, but it's also creative in a way, right? You get to kind of be involved in that creative process, and especially you get to work with your family too. I think that's really cool. Yeah.
I mean, that definitely presents a lot, like it's great, but there's also definitely some downsides because sometimes we fight. Sometimes we fight so much when we're making the dances because I am not a dancer by any
Yeah,
mean. I
okay.
dance
Good
because
surprises me.
Yes.
Okay.
And then they've been dancing for years, so
Okay.
it's just it takes me a little longer to learn it. And so between all of us sisters, it can get a little crazy sometimes, but it is also awesome too because we get to spend so much time together,
Yeah.
which is so fun.
Yeah, absolutely. That's just so valuable to spend time, with your family. It's like my brother, he works for aerospace engineering. I'm just like, I don't even know what to talk about. But if I don't know, I'd probably get sick of him after a while if I had to do a bunch of dances with him because we're both probably not the best dancers. But all right. So another question from one of our audience is, what are some of the hardships you deal with as influencers?
Okay, this one is really an amazing question. I think specifically for our Gibson Girl account, we get compared to each other. If you
Ooh.
just look at the comment
Okay.
section.
Have they commented about your breasts?
Yes, people do talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that influencing you at all?
I have gotten a lot of comments about that, which is another big factor on why I am doing it. But yeah, no, the comments on the Gibson Girls account, you see it, some people say, oh, the left, oh, the right, oh, whoever's in the middle is the best.
So crude.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, yeah.
Yeah, but that's how we learn that everyone has their preferences, you know, and everyone's beautiful no matter who it is. Because some people say we look just alike, other people say we don't. And that's when you learn that you're beautiful no matter how you split it, you know?
Yeah, that is true. Very much so. Okay, so we've answered that question. And then do you guys ever compare yourself? Here's another question. Do you guys ever compare yourself to each other or other people on the internet? We talked about a little bit of that where people comment, but do you guys compare yourselves? I mean, obviously you talk about their dancing now, but what else?
Yeah, no, like we were saying on the Gibson Girl account, like the comments do compare a lot, but for me personally, I don't.
Okay.
Like for me, I always want to build us up no matter, I don't get jealous. We don't do all that. Like I like building up, and I feel like you do the same, but.
Yeah, I completely agree. Other people do compare us all the time. They have our whole lives. It's hard not to when you're three sisters. People are going to do it naturally.
Yeah.
But I think because of that growing up, we just really learned not to compare each other, you know? We all have our own strengths. We all have our own weaknesses. And we obviously know what they are, but we try not to compare them with each other's.
Yeah, I think that's great.
Yeah.
So social media is evolving. What do you think is like there's two questions. What do you think is the kind of the next thing that's going to happen within social media? Like, what do you think is there a new platform? Is there a new kind of way people are going to do social media? I know TikTok is really taking over a lot of the followers off of Instagram, but at the same time, even if you have 1.8 million followers like I do, my content doesn't go directly to them like it does on Instagram. So it's like, what's the strategy? What's the newest thing?
So I would say TikTok really did completely change the social media realm of how everything works. But because of that, actually a lot of positives have come out of it. Whereas like Instagram has Reels now where they're really pushing that out. And like YouTube, I think has Shorts, I believe they call them. And they push that as well. It's actually created like an environment where there is an ability to grow more easily.
Yeah.
On like any platform because of TikTok.
I think so too. I think why social media does so well is like back in Instagram, back in the day, the very first like infancy of it, you could go viral just like you could on TikTok. And they got away with that because I personally feel they got greedy with a lot of like, you had to pay to play. And then along came TikTok and boom, they're like, you know what? You just produce good content. That's all you have to worry about. And so I think that competition kind of helped a lot. But you know, TikTok has really emerged. I mean, like you can find out about news, you can find out all kinds of like important information. You can find some fake stuff too, like stuff that is not real. So you got to really kind of like do your own research on stuff, which I think is kind of new. It's cool. But if there's somebody new coming out into trying to be a social media person, would you recommend it? And then what would you be your advice to them? Like someone who's thinking about doing this, someone who's working fast food restaurant and they're like, you know what, I love to do TikTok dances and I have this plan, you know?
Yeah. So one of our really good friends, one of the people that lived in a content house with us kind of has a similar story to that.
So you lived in a content house?
Yes.
Okay.
He has this most amazing story about how he got into social media and he was working all the time, going to school, doing it all. And he still found like 2 hours in the day somehow to make TikToks, and now he has millions and millions of followers
just
on
by
TikTok.
2 hours in a day.
Yes.
What did he do? What was his kind of thing?
He does skits, kind of.
Skits, okay.
He's a huge influencer. His name's Corey.
Okay.
What's his last name? I don't know. I don't know people's last name.
Okay.
But yeah, he is.
Do you really even need a last name
No.
on Instagram or TikTok?
Yeah, we don't. But yeah, and his story is really inspiring. Like every time I think about it, it's just so crazy how much social media can change your life, and it did. Yeah. So I'd say go for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I definitely say that it has changed my life because with TikTok especially, I feel like we're seeing celebrities that aren't just movie stars or singers.
They're not products of an established system, right?
Correct.
And that's kind of the cool part.
Yeah, and it's cool because you get to build a community that's like welcoming, you know, and friendly. And that's why I have enjoyed my platform so much, is because I can spread as much positivity and love, because this world sometimes it's scary. I know. So,
but there's a theory behind that. It's called open source, right? So it's like, why did Wikipedia do so well? It's because you had a bunch of people that for free would write articles about a bunch of stuff. You know, prior to that, people used to pay for encyclopedias. You know, it's so crazy. But have you ever had like a regular job doing anything?
Me personally, no.
Okay.
I know our other sister, Lauren, she was a host.
Okay.
So She did that, and then she got into social media, and it changed her life.
And that's it. Yeah. All right. And how about you?
Yeah, I had a few random jobs, but nothing I was like, nothing, nothing really that interesting. Just like a few, like, couple little part-time jobs. And then because I started doing social media like 6-7 years ago, long
Oh,
time
wow.
ago.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been doing it for a while.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I feel like it's a great way for a creative outlet, and you get
Mm-hmm.
that intrinsic motivation where it's just like, I don't even care if this does well or not. I feel good kind of making this content. So, all right. So that's pretty much it we have for Q&A, you guys. I think we covered all those questions. Do you have anything else you guys want to share before the end of this podcast?
I mean, the only thing that I would say is if anyone is thinking about doing their breast aug with you, they need to do it. It's just going to be the best decision ever. I have people ask me all the time what my doc, like, who he is. And I always just suggest you so much because you're just so good.
Amazing.
So that's what I would say.
You guys are wonderful. Thank you for being on. Natalie, did you want to say anything? And I'm sorry, Courtney.
No, just for my final say is yes, this is amazing. And Natalie's she talks about you all the time.
Thank you.
Dr. Barrett, he's amazing.
I'm so grateful.
So I'm so excited to finally be able to do that as well and say how well I got mine done too.
Well, I'm looking forward to that. I do want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. That means a lot to me. What really lights my fire is when patients come back week 2 or week 6, or I get to see you on social media and how we've been able to kind of positively impact your life. And whether that's through a little bit of Botox, a little bit of filler, or cosmetic surgery, I think it doesn't really matter. Just seeing people out there be their best versions of themselves like you guys have done, and you already are, but if you want to do more, that's great. Just really kind of lights our fire. So thank you.